On April 7, 1989, a Soviet torpedo nuclear submarine died in a fire in the Norwegian Sea. Of the 69 crew members, only 27 were rescued. The K-278, Komsomolets, was a unique nuclear-powered submarine, with an underwater displacement of 8,500 tons, a speed of more than 30 knots, and ammunition of 22 torpedoes, some of which could be replaced by Granite cruise missiles. Having a titanium hull, its stealth and maneuverability was ensured by unprecedented depth of submergence 1,000 meters and maximum depth of 1,250 meters, previously available only for bathyscapes. This submarine, despite some excess noise compared to the US, at its operating depth of immersion was not detected by any means and was beyond the reach of any weapon with a conventional explosive. Subject to the successful completion of her prototype operation, a decision should have been taken to build a series of such submarines. On April 7, 1989, K-278 was at a depth of 386 meters in the Norwegian Sea. A fire broke out in the aft rooms. The steam generator was stopped immediately. In addition, the vertical rudder jammed in the submarine, increasing its stroke, began to surface. However, at a depth of 150 meters triggered reactor emergency protection and K-278 lost speed. After the main ballast tanks were blown out, she surfaced to the surface position. But the high temperature burned the glands of the pipelines connecting the interior of the boat with the outboard environment. The water began to spread rapidly in the sections adjacent to the emergency ones. The boat surfaced, but its position became more and more precarious by the minute. The stern was sinking and the bow was getting higher and higher. It became clear that there was no hope of saving her. The sailors began to jump into the icy water. Those who were lucky were able to climb onto the life raft. The rest could only hope for the arrival of the rescue ships. When the submarine disappeared under the water, there were still a few people on board who managed to get to the rescue capsule. This rather large steel capsule, capable of withstanding the pressure of extreme depth, was designed to save the entire crew. If the boat sank and lay on the ground, all 69 people would manage to fit inside the capsule. But everything happened differently. The depth rapidly increased, and with it the pressure. Suddenly the hull of the boat shuddered. The water rushed into the last section and the camera suddenly broke away from the submarine and flew upwards, piercing the water column. Of the 6 people in the capsule, only 1 survived. Help arrived only 40 minutes later. The Alexei Klobostov ship picked up the sailors one by one. But only 27 people were rescued. The rest died of hypothermia or drowned. Currently, nuclear submarine K-278, Komsomolets, lies at a depth of over 1,700 meters, and for many years the question of its lifting is being solved. A year ago, the Norwegian Institute of Marine Research conducted a regular survey of the sunken submarine and frightened the world community with the statement that the radiation background around the submarine exceeded 100,000 times. Though the Norwegians reassured everyone by saying the background was only detected in the immediate vicinity of the submarine and posed no threat to sea life or people, it is clear that the presence of a nuclear reactor on the bottom may sooner or later result in an environmental disaster. The situation is aggravated by the fact that the Komsomolets, whose accident took the lives of dozens of people, has 2 torpedoes with nuclear warheads which are also vulnerable to corrosion. So something definitely needs to be done about the sunken submarine in the foreseeable future.